Morning, everyone. I want to call a meeting of Warren County Fiscal Court Thursday, October 12th, 2023 to order. We're happy to have today to start our meeting off an invocation by Pastor Adam Trent, who's with Meadowland Baptist Church. They'll be followed by the pledge to the flag by Esquire Ron Cummings. Pastor Trent.
Would you stand with me as we pray? Heavenly Father, we thank you for an opportunity to gather here today. Your word tells us that we should lean not unto our own understanding, but all our ways acknowledge you, and you would direct our paths. And so I pray for every decision made today, for every path taken today, for every topic spoken of today, that all we do would be unifying, edifying, so that you would be glorified in the end. I pray for our county. I pray for our community. I pray for our country. I pray for Israel. I pray for these representatives here and all things that will be discussed, business conducted, and everything done in the name of justice and liberty. And Lord, as these people abide, I pray that you would abide in them, not just in this time and in this day, but in their lives from here on out and each step they take. Lord, bless these proceedings. Bless this day. Bless these people and this opportunity to convene. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor Trent. All right, clerk, please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Here.
Esquire Aldridge.
Here.
Esquire Lasley. Esquire Cummings.
Here.
Esquire Williams.
Here.
Esquire McWhorter.
And Esquire Lasley will not be with us today. He had a flight from Pennsylvania that's been delayed, so much to his chagrin, he will not be here. First item is approve the minutes of the fiscal court meeting on September 28th, 2023. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. Any discussion or questions or corrections? If not, please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item, approve the work schedule for the Warren County Road Department. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 6, approve the personnel changes for Warren County.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
All right now we'll take a break. We have a special presentation by Glenda Beck, good friend of ours. So, Ms. Beck.
Well, it's just wonderful to be here today. Thank you, Judge, for allowing us this time. And I give a shout out to Rick Williams, who is the magistrate in my district. He always answers my calls, and he goes the second mile to accomplish whatever it is I'm handing out, right? It's wonderful.
I know not to. I know better than not to.
That's right.
Yeah, we know where you live. That's right. Today with me is Sonia and Bob Hamlin. Sonia, tell us a little bit about why you're here with me. They will have a presentation later.
We are with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We're serving a mission as welfare and self-reliance missionaries. And so that's how we're in touch with Glenda.
Thank you. You may already know that about 15% of the however many thousands was mentioned this morning of the population here in Warren County have food insecurities. Those in children are 1 in 6 have food insecurities, different from hunger. Hunger means they have no food. Food insecurity means they do not have enough food for a proper diet and nutrition. The demands at the local food pantries have increased so highly since the pandemic. Hope Barker over at Greenwood Church of Christ Pantry was serving 50 people a month during the pandemic. That is now 437 people a month. And every pantry we've contacted, it's the same story. It has been exciting to connect with many of the local food pantries as we align in supporting them. To date, over 6 semi-truck loads of food have been brought into Warren County and delivered here in Bowling Green. Tim, come up for a minute. Some of you may know Tim. Tim, we've worked, and I want him to just tell you a little bit.
Sure. I'm the director of State Street United Methodist Church's food pantry, but I'm working in collaboration with a lot of the food pantries in the city. We really could not exist without the help from Glenda and LDS. Yeah, the amount of food that they provide for us is incredibly generous and really gets us through the year.
Thank you, Tim. Wasn't that wonderful? He just came on the spur of the minute. But this is happening with many of the food pantries. Each of you have an information sheet at your desk. Well, sorry, Amy, you and your friend do not. It looks like this. There will be an open house on October 24th. Please read this, keep it in a handy access file. I invite you to share this with churches and nonprofits in your districts. There's 5 items listed in this light blue square. You may see those needs in your district. If I know Judge Gorman and I were down at the Tornado Center and saw a lot of things come in that was helpful and needed. We were happy to be participating in that. So keep this. And the number, please put it in your phone for quick reference. I find that often the need arises and you don't have the connection. We're going to be there to help as much as we can. The Hamlins have a short presentation that will explain a bit more about where the food is produced. And if time permits, at the end of the presentation, we would be happy to entertain any questions you may have. And thank you again for having us.
Thank you for letting us be here today, and we are going to go ahead and show the video real quick.
During the Great Depression, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints created a welfare program to help the poor and needy. As part of that program, in 1938, the church built a complex in downtown Salt Lake City, Utah, that today is still known as Welfare Square. Welfare Square meets the needs of many people. To do so, it has a grain elevator, a bakery, a cannery, a milk processing plant, and even a Deseret Industries thrift store. The Welfare Square grain elevator can hold up to 300,000 bushels of grain. It acts as a hearty storage unit and also supplies a bakery that can produce thousands of loaves of bread per day. In the cannery, food purchased commercially or brought in from church-owned farms is packaged and bottled. Spaghetti sauce, salsa, applesauce, honey, and jams are all prepared. The milk plant processes upwards of 3.5 million pounds of milk each and every month. Butter, sour cream, cottage, and cheddar cheese are also produced. Dry milk is even processed and shipped around the world as part of humanitarian aid packages. No matter what type of food is being made or processed, food scientists are on hand to check the quality and safety of any food produced at Welfare Square. Much of that food is then distributed through an attached bishop storehouse, finding its way to home food storage centers and to individuals who need temporary assistance. A 40-truck fleet also logs millions of miles per year, delivering food to bishop storehouses in 45 different states. Welfare.
So helping the poor and the needy is one of our most important goals in the church, and we know that it's going to take a concentrated effort to do this. At the end of the day, this is the Lord's work in taking care of those who are in need, and that's what our most important goal is. Thank you for letting us be here today to share this information with you.
Great, thank you so very much. We appreciate the information, great work that's being done. I think we many times take for granted food insecurity in this entire country, and we appreciate the hard work you're doing. And Glenda, it's always good to have you back here. Of course, famous for many things, but also famous for being married to Eddie Beck, former magistrate here. So Eddie's a great friend, so thank you so very much. Any questions or anything for their group?
I would just like to say that I know that they've helped out several of the local food pantries that were running short on supplies, and without their help, those pantries probably couldn't have helped or kept up with the demand.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, great work. Thank you so very much. Thank you. All right, our next item is Election Education Task Force update. Squire Lawrence, we're going to have a meeting afterwards, but if you have anything to add right now.
I would just like to say that I think that we're moving in the right direction. We've had several meetings, 4 meetings of the committee, and it's a completely bipartisan without any direction toward a party of any kind. It's mainly just to educate the voting populace of where they can vote, when they can vote, and to make it easier and more accessible for anybody who wants to vote to be able to get out and do it. I really think this year that it will be easier for people to vote more in County than it's ever been before.
Great, thank you. Immediately following this meeting, we are going to have a press briefing on the results of that and where we are right now, so anyone's welcome to stay for that as well. Before we get into the agenda, though, we do have some guests with us, and I'm going to have Chris Kummer come forward and make a presentation. Chris?
Bring up some friends, man.
You always travel in packs, don't you?
That's
I do, I
right.
travel in packs. Kevin, come on up too. We'll do 2 here. This is Pam Green.
Yes.
With Ball Corporation, and if you may or may not know this, but if you've been by Basil Griffin Park in recent weeks, you will have seen that all of our walking trail posts, which are 4x4s, then also the lake bank areas, have been cleaned, and we have partnered up with Ball Corporation. They have, on volunteer time, come out, painted majority of all of our walking trail posts, our yellow posts, our orange posts, our red posts. They had all that done prior to the opening of the Air Park Museum, which was absolutely outstanding. And Clinton Houck, our park manager at Basil Griffin Park, has coordinated with Pam and her team. And it's through that continued support that we are able to continue to offer exceptional recreational services. And I just want to thank Ball Corporation on behalf of Warren County Parks, our team, for helping us be able to provide that service. And those courses are walked every day. I just left the park from a meeting, and so we had about 12 to 15 different walkers out there on those recent trails that were painted by Ball Corporation. And just Pam and team, thank you so much for your continued dedication. It's not just a one-time thing. Ball Corporation has had a footprint in Warren County Parks for quite some time, and we just appreciate their volunteerism and their continued support of our department.
That's great.
Thank you all so much.
Pam, Pam, if I can ask, how many employees are at the facility?
170.
170. So many times we hear about these big companies and things like this. They've got a beautiful facility. I've been fortunate enough to go through it out of the Trans Park. But what I'd like to say is what a fantastic corporate citizen. It's not someone who just comes here looking for great employees. While we appreciate that, it's someone who wants to give back to the community, and it is an honor for us to have Ball Corporation have their facility here in Warren County. It's a source of pride for us, and this partnership and what you're doing just proves that it was a great decision for you to locate here and for us to do what we can to make sure you're successful. So on behalf of 140,000 citizens, thank you so much for what you do for our community. And if it's okay, I'd like to have a picture with the 3 of you all up here, and Chris up front here, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
That's a yes. I wasn't really asking. That was not a real rhetorical question. I should have said, come on up here. So no, come on, we'll get up here with our magistrates and get a picture taken, if that's okay. We appreciate you all being here.
I won't do that. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Judge, Court, just one more traveling packs. So the pack, part of the pack today is Kevin Elder. So Kevin, this is Kevin. He is an intern that is with our department. He is from the Business Administration program at Western Kentucky University. Usually we have recreation graduates or recreation students. Kevin is getting the full course of municipal recreation. He's going to be doing some business items to help us enhance our business. And so Kevin's traveling with me today, and I just wanted to recognize him. He's doing a great job, and we're glad to have him. So.
Great. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much, Chris. All right, back to our agenda. Item 9 is approved second and final reading of ordinance 2363, rezoning property located at 1501 Fuqua Road from agriculture to rural residential containing approximately 5.02 acres and presently owned by Southern Craftsman Homes, LLC, care of Chris Liptinsky, the applicants, and Barbara A. Cox, the property owner.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Williams. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 10 is approved second and final reading of ordinance 2364, authorizing a lighting agreement between Warren Rural Electric Cooperative Corporation and South Glen Gables, Section 5. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 11 is approved lease agreement for a 2023 Ford Transit cargo van at a cost of $1,251.24 per month for 60 months from Enterprise Fleet for Parks and Rec's Rec on the Run program, as well as an additional one-time cost of $3,030 for outfitting of the van with power and lighting by Meyer Truck Equipment. This is a state price contract. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Approve and make part of the record the 2023 Emergency Operation Plan for Warren County Emergency Management. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
And at this time, I just want to remind the fiscal court, but also the people listening, Travis, where Ronnie Pearson, our Director of Emergency Management, his son Brad Harper, retired state trooper, is a deputy in Simpson County, was shot. He is currently in the hospital. So we need to continue to keep Brad Harper, who's also is affiliated, had been a long-time affiliation with the Alvaton Fire Department, in your thoughts and prayers for the things he's going through right now in the line of duty. Item 13, approved determination the amount of $6,450 for Drug Task Force Cellbrite annual renewal. This is paid for with asset forfeiture funds. Easy for someone to say, not me. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. One more item that Tommy has that we don't need to talk about what it does. Is that what I'm supposed to say? That's good. No, I'm playing. So thank you for the hard work, Tommy. All right, please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire
Yes,
McWhorter.
ma'am.
Item 14 is approved lease agreement for a 2024 Ford F-350 from Enterprise Fleet for stormwater management in the amount of $1,300.88 per month for 60 months. This is a replacement for a 2017 F-350. This is the contracted vendor.
So moved.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 15 is approved determination amount of $4,600 to Sprouse Container for the purchase of a Connex container for Parks and Rec's new partnership with the Bike Walk BG program for storage of bikes and equipment. 3 quotes were obtained. This was the lowest and best.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Williams. Discussion or questions? It's a great program, Chris. Looking forward to involvement with that. Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 16 is approve Resolution 2320, adopting and approving the execution of a rural secondary program agreement between the Fiscal Court and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Rural and Municipal Aid, and accepting all roads and streets referred to therein as being a part of the county road system, and authorize the judge executive to sign all related documents. This is for the Flex Funds reimbursement in an amount not to exceed $340,111 for bituminous resurfacing of Clay Starks Road, Halls Chapel Road, and Hayes Pondsville Road. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Josh?
I just wanted to go on record and do a little explanation on this. Some of you may remember that KYTC District 3 made a presentation to Fiscal Court some time ago about these funds. This is about $60,000 more than was initially provided to us. As money gets split amongst all the counties, in this case, we became the benefactor of more money than normal, which is great. Just so all you magistrates know, those roads that we set in paving, we've already requested, and we're moving those on through for paving. The likelihood of adding one more road in before the end of the season is slim, just because the paving season may end. We have confirmed that these monies, this extra $60,000 or so, will then roll over to us for use against next year. So we will be working on an amendment to the road paving plan. Likely won't happen and be completed before the end of this calendar year, but we'll be looking at it in the spring. And in there somewhere, if it doesn't get finished, they will be adding that to our next year flex fund. So just wanted to clear that up in case anyone had any questions.
Yeah.
Remember District 6 and real needs.
Yeah.
That's right. We won't lose any money, but it is, the timing and everything could be something to carry over, but that's great. Yeah, it's good information, Josh. Thank you so much. Any other questions for Josh? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 17 is approved lowest and best bid of $359,780 to the White Oak General Contractors for the renovation of the second floor offices and bathrooms at the Warren County Courthouse. This was publicly advertised with 2 bids received. This was the lowest and best bid. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions?
I just want to make, James, I don't know, this is probably a question for you. I assume you met with them and everything was all to spec and good and covered, and, you know, I know that there was some concern about the difference in the prices between the two, and just want to make sure that everything in the spec and stuff that's quoted was indeed included and part of his project.
He assures me that every item we've discussed has been covered.
Okay.
I will say both contractors spent an inordinate amount of time up here looking through everything, because it is, one of the things that is happening is we are retiling the bathrooms that, I don't know what the rush was, but every 65 years or so probably should do it, and they are going to do it. That's a pretty extensive project. One thing we haven't spoken about is for the treasurer's office, finance, and for this side of the juggling around, and there'll probably be a lot of work done in the back of the courtroom while this is going on, because people have to move out of their offices for things like that. So it is it'll be a construction zone up here, but I do believe people will appreciate the difference, just like this courtroom. The one great thing is the budget that was put together for the entirety of this. We're actually a little under budget for both projects, so that's amazing in today's society, but we're happy about that as well.
So when would this start, and when your expectation of completion?
As soon as you guys approve it, we're going to start. They plan on trying to get everything ready, because we'll have our Christmas open house like the 1st of December. So any hallway out here that you come up, we're hoping to have it done. So they'll have easy entrance in. Now, we will close this stairwell off. So the first thing that'll happen is they'll build a platform to do the work in the stairwell and try to get that work done, like I said, prior to December 1st.
Thank you.
And then we'll move over to the judge's side and then over to the treasurer's side. That's the plan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Good.
And we will have a Christmas raffle for the green carpet. Just people keep that around. It might happen, so we'll try to raise some money for something for sure. Any other questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 18 is approved determination in the amount of $5,209.03 to Wright Implement for the purchase of a snow plow attachment for the John Deere Gator recently purchased for the Downtown Beautification Division. This is Sourcewell contract pricing. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 19 is approved a lease agreement for a 2023 Ford F-150 truck from Enterprise Fleet for Public Works in the amount of $1,171.32 for 60 months, plus a one-time cost of $2,150 for aftermarket equipment. This is state contract pricing. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 20 is approved the Warren County Clerk's 2022 audit.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire
Yes,
McWhorter.
ma'am.
Will the treasurer please report the claims?
General Fund, $1,083,170. Road Fund, $97,372. Jail Fund, $412,067. Stormwater Fund, $62,793. Grant Fund, $3,830. E911 Fund, $12,708. And Fed Forfeiture Fund, $244. Be happy to answer any questions.
Make a motion, we pay the claims.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Williams. Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire
Yes,
McWhorter.
ma'am.
All right. Sheriff Hightower,
Good, thank you, Judge.
you're good with all the tax bills and all the,
Thank you.
I've had a lot of people ask me, did they miss something? But we put it out multiple times, the week
Yep.
coming up November 1st. I can guarantee you we're not gonna miss anybody.
yeah. Yes. So one thing the sheriff has, they have advertised and made sure everyone understands that as well. And one of those holdups was anytime there's a change in a school tax, they do have a 45-day period where you can appeal, do things like this, and it backed up the thing. So while the sheriff usually sends those out October 1st, they're going November 1st. The 2% discount is still available through November 30th, correct? So for anyone that wanting to get that discount, I would highly encourage you to do that. It's one of the very few times you could save money on taxes, but that'll still be there, so just be on the lookout for those. Those will go out here in a couple weeks, so thank you, Sheriff. Mr. Comer? All right. Mr. Moore? All good. Nikki, everything's, come on, Nikki, there we go. She has something for us. Ron will still beat you. Do not worry about it. You just go ahead.
It's true. Okay, the first one is Croptoberfest as part of the Harvest Festival is this weekend, so that's all the happenings at Soki Marketplace, that, you know, the county's portion of the Harvest Festival. There's live music all day, 30+ food vendors, and then 100 or something craft and artisan vendors. So it'll be a big deal in addition to everything that the city's doing at Fountain and Circus Square. And other county departments are also part of that. Parks and Rec is a huge player in that. Stormwater has a booth, and the library, of course. So
That's this weekend?
this weekend, yeah. I didn't look up the times. I think it's mostly all day during the day. Household Hazardous Waste Day is October 28th, 8 to 1 at Laura and Avery. So same setup for the last several years, so nothing new there. But get all your stuff together, and if you got any questions about what you can and cannot bring, check out the website. And then the last one is I want to invite all of you to a ribbon cutting for our Fillmore Park water quality project. It's been done since the spring, but we wanted to let some vegetation grow up so that it looks a little bit nicer and not just bare. It's part of our FELOC funds that were, it's not public tax dollars, and we just wanted to invite everyone out there just to see it, and so that the public is aware that, we've made these improvements at the park for the community to use and benefit from. It is on Halloween, October 31st at 11 o'clock, down by the creek. So it's the dog park side, but down by the creek.
Yes.
At the dog park, did you say?
Down by the creek, but on that side. Yeah.
Yeah. Be a great project. Great. Thank you. Any questions for Nikki? That was a lot.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, that was great. All good information. Thank you.
Is that the appropriate time to, did y'all get this letter too?
Well, it is an appropriate time for that, so.
Would it be appropriate time to?
Yeah, let me have that letter. I sent it to them, but I sent a copy to you all. But I am going to read a letter, so, so I don't mind telling you, one of the interesting things about the office is sometimes I get letters sent to me with no return address and not signed, and I will tell you I throw them away. If anyone wants to complain about it, I'm happy to listen to anything, but my personal belief is if you're never going to retaliate, but if someone does it. So I got a letter the other day with no return address, but it was so I'm going to open it, but it definitely had someone's signature, and I don't think she'd mind me doing it, but it was something, when you do get these things, thank you for this, Squire Cummings. I sent it to the magistrates and back, but I'm going to read this letter. Dear Judge Gorman, please allow me to thank you and county government for the outstanding group of folks in the Office of Stormwater Management. I've had the pleasure of working with Nikki, Ms. Strange, and Frank Rakers. We had a sinkhole situation arising in a drainage area, and I had no idea who to call concerning the situation the first time I called the office. Nikki was a wealth of information and one of the nicest individuals I've had the pleasure to call for a long, long time. I found her to be very knowledgeable and extremely helpful. I later talked with Ms. Strange and found her to be as helpful and encouraging as Nikki and eager to update me on the situation. Meeting Frank at the site, he gave me information on what could be done and assured me he would return if the situation was not corrected. Rarely in this day and time do you find a cordial, personable, and helpful group of individuals willing to go the extra mile to assist. In fact, getting off the phone with them each time and meeting one of them face-to-face made each of those days a little brighter. It was nice to be treated respectfully, without haste, and to share information as to the way the problem could be solved. More agencies could take lessons from these fine folks on how to treat folks in the community. They are true ambassadors for Warren County and fine representatives, county government. Respectfully, Debbie Ritchie. So,
That's fair.
yep. That was very kind. Thank you. And thank you again for that, Squire Cummings. Yes, a great. So again, we always want to hear positives and negatives because we want to improve each and every day. But at the end of the day, each of us should always remember that we are public servants and here to serve the public. And Nikki and her entire group does that each and every day. So thank you, Nikki, for that.
I can assure you that group is awesome because I have several phone calls for stormwater projects. And
yeah.
Frank is who I generally talk to.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll go out and look at it.
Yep.
And, and fix it. So
they're great.
It's
yep.
good.
So great. Thank you for that. All right, Mr. Loving got approved what he wanted and left, so that's good. Travis is here for Ronnie. I mentioned earlier again, please keep Brad Harper in your thoughts and prayers. His son was shot in the line of duty on a bad deal, but took care of that. But Travis, anything else going on? Thank you. Heather, are you in charge now?
I think so.
Okay. Heather's in charge of contractors licensing. We're just going to make that, Holly doesn't show up one time and she's out, so that's good. So I'm sure. Great. Thank you so very much. Mr. Markram?
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Great. All right. Squire McWhirter?
It's all good, sir. Beautiful weather.
Great. Thank you. Yes, it is. We need to enjoy it. Squire Aldridge?
Thank you, Judge. I'd like to just make everybody aware of two events. The Browning Volunteer Fire Department will be having their car show this Saturday, October the 14th from 9 until 2. And that'll be at the Rockfield Elementary School. So if you're finished with the events downtown, swing out there and take a look at the cool cars that they'll have out there on display. Also, the Barron River Volunteer Fire Department will be having their annual meeting Tuesday, October the 24th, and that'll be at 6 p.m.
Great, thank you. Squire Cummings?
Not to be outdone by Nikki or anybody here in this room. First of all, I want to say thanks to all those who were helpful with Operation Anvil last weekend. It was an incredible event. There were a lot of people to thank, and if I start thanking them individually, I might miss somebody. So I'm going to say a blanket thank you to everybody. You know who they are. And the 5th year, it was amazing and well received, and it was just a phenomenal day. Weather was perfect. For those people that are interested in this, Survivor fans, which I'm one of them, there's a casting call here in Bowling Green this next Tuesday, it's 17th, at Bowling Green Ballpark. So I just want to remind people who might be listening out there, if you ever decide to be on Survivor, this is your chance to go down to Bowling Green Ballpark and try out to be on Survivor. And,
Is this a public service announcement, or are you going down there to try out?
y'all will have to show up and see if I mention it. So. Want to also announce on October 19th, Stuart and Ritchie, one of our great business partners in the county, is having their 50th year anniversary, so that's a big deal. And I want to thank them for all the years of service here in Warren County. And then last but not least, October 21st, Saturday, the Boys Community Center is having their last event of the summer. Their chili supper and white elephant auction will be held this coming October 21st at 6 o'clock, and come out to that. It's always a lot of fun and a great event, but this will wrap up their season out there at the Boys Community Center. So please invite everybody to come out to participate.
That's the 21st?
21st, October 21st.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Squire Williams?
Thank you, Judge. I'd just like to congratulate Esquire Cummings on that great event, Operation Anvil, and it's costing me a lot of money. Now, as a follow-up, as my grandson Hunter has decided he wants to become a reenactor, but he's already picked out all the things for his Christmas list, and it's way more than I had expected to spend.
Yes.
But, you know, we'll try to involve Santa Claus. And also, I want to thank our sheriff for a great presentation at Rotary this week. He was our guest speaker and did a fantastic job. Good program. Thank you for coming. And thank you for your service.
Great. Squire Lawrence?
Yeah, Judge, I had a really good time out at Operation Anvil too. It was a great event. And one other thing, I'd like to encourage more people from Warren County to come visit the Veterans Memorial Courtyard down here. We had a great ceremony this morning. I'd love to see more people, you know, just come see the majesty and the solemnness of the situation down there of the place. It's a really nice place. I think it's one of the most happy ground in Warren County.
Thank you for that, Squire Lawrence, and your service as well. But it is something we do. We had a bricklaying ceremony this morning, and 4 different service members, 4 different families represented, but one family, the Matthews family, 7 members of that family serve this country. And only, you know, in Warren County, when you go there, it's a special place, sacred place for Warren Countyans who have served this country. And have that. There is a QR code that we've put out there. If you know of a veteran, you want to honor a veteran that's currently serving or has served, you can go to that, fill it out. We'll start those again next spring. We do them in nicer weather. We won't do another one until probably April, but you still have plenty of time to do that, and we'll get those bricks ordered if we need to. It's a great thing. Deputy Judge Downing?
Just want to say thanks to our presenters earlier today. That's a great service that they provide to some of our neediest citizens. Also, this weekend, starting today at 2 o'clock, the River Rats have their 50th annual celebration at the Aviation Heritage Park. That's a nationwide group, and it is a great honor, testament to this court and the park itself of the quality. So,
that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Cummings?
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Milliken?
Thank you, Judge. I want to send out my thoughts and prayers to the family of Roger Miller. Roger has had hospice called in, and he is not doing well. And so if you'll just keep Melissa and Sue in your prayers. He was a huge, speaking of the Veterans Memorial downstairs, he was a huge advocate to get that accomplished and a strong leader in this community, so he is struggling right now.
He is a great, great man. Roger Miller, at the drop of a hat, would fight someone over our county attorney, Amy Milliken. I will tell you that the last thing you want to do was have it known to him that you were having a dispute with Miss Milliken. That would have, he'd have thrown hands, I can tell you. So it's a great man, so thank you. Treasurer? Nothing?
Nothing.
Shocker. So, I'm playing. I want to congratulate our Warren County Attorney, Amy Milliken. She was the Alumna of the Year for the Chase Law School, and it's a fantastic, yes, let's give her a... We'd like to get a picture. No, we don't. We're not doing that. We're not doing it. It's just, but no, it's a great honor, and so that was very, very she had a great year. President of CAECO, which is an extreme honor for Warren County, and is always a great servant and a great representation of Warren County. So thank you for that work. All right, if there is nothing else to come before the court, we get a motion by Squire Lawrence to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you.